everybody, Complete Pete back again. I've been getting a number of emails and messages through YouTube, some viewers and some people just watching our other videos on how to load a kayak and how to tie down a kayak. Been very well received, and these folks are still having some trouble getting their boats up on their cars and small SUVs, crossovers by themselves. Asked me if I had any ideas. I gave it some thought. I came up with a solution that seems to work. It's about $40 worth of part, just kind of a DIY solution. No, it's not a elevator, and no, it's not some expensive component that you can purchase. It's just something you can make yourself so you can spend more time out on the water. So hopefully this helps. Let me get set up and I'll show you what I came up with. Okay, what I came up with is just a DIY solution. Like I said, it's about $40 worth of parts, and it consists of a piece of 2-inch PVC, which is a Lowe's or a Home Depot item. I also have a 5-foot piece of 1.5 inch PVC, and I had looked at the dimensions, and we use these products at work. I looked at the dimensions, the ID, or the inside diameter of the pipe, and the OD of this, and I realized that they fit right into each other. So I'm looking to make a third-hand device that will slide out and hold up half your boat while you load the other half. I also have some PVC caps that are just going to go on the end. We don't want to push them on too tight because they're meant to be glued on, but in this case we're just going to stop wind whistling and keep the inner tube inside. But one of the things we have to do is I have to do some measurements, and I probably have to cut this PVC a little bit because it has an action as sliding like a ram, and it will knock the caps off. Just wanted to talk quickly about some of the tools we need, which makes this a very doable project. The PVC pipe is very easy to cut. You can cut it with a pipe cutter. The most common way to cut it is with a hacksaw. So you could just use a regular hacksaw and you could just carefully cut it. Another saw you could have, which I happen to do some plumbing work also. This is a Starrett PVC saw. Kind of weird looking. If you do a lot of PVC work, you probably want to invest in one, but the blade is so wide because it keeps your cut going straight. Many times when you use a hacksaw with such a skinny little blade, the blade starts going crooked and you end up kind of with a baloney cut. So we'll be using the Starrett saw today. The other item I have is a tape measure, which you'll need to measure the pipe. We will have to shorten up the 2-inch pipe a little bit because I want the inner 1.5 inch pipe to be slightly longer so we don't knock those caps off on the end. We're going to need to deburr the inside a little bit. You can do that carefully with a razor knife. We could just shave the inside. I'll show that. I also happen to have a deburring tool, which is kind of a very inexpensive, very cool tool, and I'll show you how well this thing works. And we'll need a pencil, and I have a couple paper towels ready to clean the pipe off. And I also have some, we're gonna put some padding, some foam padding to hold the boat a little steadier so it doesn't slide around when we're on the PVC when you're loading it. And I'm just gonna clean the isopropyl, use the isopropyl alcohol to clean the pipe a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna start cutting the 2-inch pipe. And as I mentioned, both of these pieces are 5 feet long. The caps are not going on all the way. The caps are only getting pushed on about 1/4 inch. They hold really firmly, but they're really designed to go like 1.5 inches in. So what happens is when this 5-foot piece of PVC slides back and forth, it'll knock the cap right off. So I want to take 2.5 inches off the big pipe, off the 2-inch pipe. So I'm just going to measure 2.5 inches. Right on the pipe. Doesn't have to be terribly scientific. That's it. I'm going to use my Starrett saw, and I'm using a Stanley Workmate stand. I kind of use this thing for everything, kind of clamps the pipe in there a little bit. I generally use my thumb to line up the blade. I do end up cutting a lot of PVC, electrical and plumbing purposes, just to get started. Okay. We have a nice straight cut. One of the things you'll see in the end here is a little bit of burring on the outside. You could just kind of knock that off. You can see the burrs on the inside. So one way to do it is just take a razor knife and you could just scrape on the inside. And that's all you have to do. The other thing is my very cool deburring tool. All you do is put this thing in there, and you just kind of go right around in a circle. And it will deburr the inside of the pipe, 1, 2, 3, and make a perfect deburr, and there you go. Okay, now that we have our 2-inch pipe cut a little bit shorter, I'm going to slide our 1.5-inch PVC pipe inside. This is schedule 40 PVC. It's going to slide right inside. There's plenty of room, and you can see it sticks out on both sides. So our 1.5 inch is longer than the 2-inch. And the reason I did that is because you don't want to push these caps on all the way. They're going to be very hard to get off. But I'm going to push the cap on, pretty much as hard as I can. You just basically wiggle it and it comes right off. But I'm going to stick this on as hard as I can dry. Tubes all the way down. I'm going to stick this one on as far as I can dry. And that's it. So it doesn't move inside anymore. So we have the length perfect. One more thing I'm going to do is I also picked up some EPDM foam rubber. I get it from McMaster Car. They sell it on Amazon also. It's basically a soft rubber, foam almost, and it has an adhesive back on it. So one of the things I want to do is use it on our 1.5 inch portion of the pipe. That way, when I pull the pipe out, I'm going to make a mark on this pipe also. I'm going to mark the midpoint. So when you see the black line come out, that's a stopping point for it. And then what we'll do is we will put this foam on here and adhere it right onto the pipe so it'll look like that. So when you put your boat up, your boat's less likely to slide back and forth. Okay. Moving along, I want to just measure this 1.5 inch section that'll be inside the 2-inch just to make that center line so I don't pull this tube out too far. So that's like 60 1/4, so that'll be 30 1/8. Right there. Put it back inside. Okay, so that's roughly my mid mark. Okay, here's our foam material again. I want to get a good happy medium with the distance in that it's going to be. And I'm thinking, maybe 8 inches, because I don't want to be too close to the end. So I'm just going to make a little mark so I can keep my eye on that. I'm going to use a little of my isopropyl to clean off any dirt, give us the best chance for adhesion on there. Then we'll take our foam. And this is an outdoor foam actually, from McMaster Car. Similar to what I might use to insulate pipes or something like that. Just going to fold that back a little bit so I have the sticky side to work with. I'm going to set it right on there. And I'm sure this will be crooked and every other thing, but my goal is to just have something that I can keep the boat from slipping while I'm trying to do this by myself. I'm going to pull this a little bit while I do it. And as you see, I'm pushing it. The paper's unreeling itself as I go, so I'm not doing that. Okay, so we're coming around the other side. I actually overlapped a little bit. We can pull that right off of there. And I think I'm going to try to cut that with a razor knife. If my blade is sharp enough, I'll give it a shot. Okay, so that came off. I'm hoping just to get that that edge to kind of meet up nicely. Not as smooth as it could have been. If I had cut that a little better, maybe it would have butted up completely. So I'm curious about our 2-inch PVC. And given the size of the ID of the two, this whole assembly should fit right inside. And it does. So it'll fit right inside, just like that. It won't rattle around, and it won't come, even if you rode without the caps, I don't think it's gonna come out. And then I could just pull it right out, and there's my material. So it's gonna kind of be anti-vibration and a security device in case you lose a cap. So I'm just gonna do this to the other side, and then we'll put it on the car. Okay, I'm here with our completed unit. And this can be made out of PVC, Schedule 40, which this is, or it could be made out of ABS plastic, which is black plastic. I'm sure Krylon or someone also makes like a plastic spray paint if you wanted to make this black, or you wanted to color code it to your car, or even if you didn't want to leave it on, even if you're kayaking on Saturday and you want to put it on Friday night. But with the foam, the caps, the correct length, it's like it feels like a solid piece of plastic. And all I'm going to do with this, no rocket science involved, I'm going to put it right behind my aero bar, and we're going to fasten it right on there with some straps around. Now the straps that I got are the snap-loc cargo control systems straps. It's a cinch strap, 1 inch wide, 2 feet long. I think they were like $13 or something like that. So it's really a pretty inexpensive solution. And basically that's the strap right there. So you can see it's a cinch strap, and the strap will just go right around the pipe. I'll take it and bring it right around the bar. Press on the latch, feed this up through a little bit. There it comes. And then we will strap it down. I'm only gonna go part of the way for now. I'm gonna go over to the other side and get that one in, and then I'll tighten them both up. But I mean, you can see this is holding it pretty, and I put very little pressure on that. And then we'll use these tie wrap or these Velcro patches to hold the strap down when we're all done. Okay, I have the system mounted. As you can see here, it is mounted to the back. It's nice and firm on there. It's not gonna move or vibrate, doesn't slide back and forth. Like I said, I could personally live with this. If I wanted to go kayaking bad enough and I was by myself and I had 40 bucks and a hacksaw, I could pretty much make this assembly here, and I'd be on the water and not waiting for somebody to help me. I mean, basically, I could just pull this cap off. I'd probably put this on my front seat so I don't lose it. And I'm gonna pull out my tube on the inside, and there's our foam pad. And I can still feel resistance from the foam on the other side. Now here's our midpoint. So I'm just gonna leave that in the middle like that, and that should give me some pretty good strength. This is what I envision the third hand to look like. It's pretty strong. I've never tried it, so this will be the maiden voyage to see how it works. But here's a boat. It's a Pungo 120 Wilderness Systems. I could easily lift up the one end. The problem's getting it up on top by myself. So there you go. Sometimes if you leave just the PVC, the boat will slide all over the place, but I think that adding this EPDM foam adhesive rubber on here, which is on pretty good, kind of keeps the boat steady. I'm even go a little higher with it because I'm so confident. So there you go, did that by myself. Pick up the other side. Slide it right over. 1, 2, 3, easy peasy. Put my third hand back in the tube again. Put my cap on. And please watch my other video on how to tie your kayak down so you do it properly and you don't lose your boat. But I think that's an easy way to go about doing it. And even at this point, if I wanted to flip the boat over, I could flip it over, but at least it's up on top of the vehicle. So hopefully you find that helpful. Like I said, it's $40 and maybe a half hour to put it together, but I think it might be money well spent if you want to load your kayak by yourself.